myself to solve everything at once. I just chose one thing and did it wholeheartedly. If I failed, I learned to accept it, not to bury myself in regret. Music. If I succeeded, I thanked myself but didn't let it become new pressure for tomorrow. You may think these things are too small to change your life, but you'll be surprised to see that small actions, music repeated daily, form the strongest foundation for peace and meaning. Change comes gradually but firmly. I found myself calmer, music less scattered, and less irritable with loved ones. I no longer felt my day slipping away unconsciously. Each moment became more profound, and I knew I was truly living, not just passing through time. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it, music, is in your power, be good." When I lived with that spirit, I no longer felt pressured to music, be perfect all year, all month. I only needed to live fully today, then start anew tomorrow as if reborn once more. The light within me grew little by little with each small choice in the present. Try it yourself. Tomorrow morning, give yourself a moment of silence before getting swept up in news, emails, music, and nameless worries. Drink water, look out the window. Remind yourself today matters most. Choose one small thing. Do it wholeheartedly. Feel your presence in every action. Whenever your mind drifts to the past or future, gently bring it back. Ask, what is the most important thing I can do right now? Don't be hard on yourself if you forget. Just practice patiently every day. You may stumble or sometimes be swept back into old habits, but don't blame yourself. See it as part of the journey because you're practicing the most important skill of all. Being truly present, music in each moment. Only by living in this spirit can you truly feel freedom, initiative, music, and the meaning of your life. You'll witness something miraculous. No longer music powerless, no longer an outsider in your own life. You become the master of every moment, music, every choice, every action, no matter how small. That is the strongest foundation, music, to build a meaningful and truly free life. Don't waste today on regrets or worries. Live it fully, for each day is a life in miniature. That is how you rebuild your inner strength day by day. 2. I release control. For I release control. Many years I used to think that a man's strength lay in his ability to controlling his work, his family, his words, his actions, and sometimes even the emotions of others. But the harder I tried to hold the res tightly, the more exhausted, worn out, and music powerless I felt. There were times I felt like I was straining to keep everything within my grasp, but the more I tried to hold on, the more everything seemed to slip out of reach. Recently, I met up with Thomas, a friend from my university days. We aren't the kind of friends who text all the time, but every time we meet, we have deep conversations. Thomas used to be the type of man everyone thought knew no fear. Project manager at a big company, music responsible for hundreds of people. Everyone assumed he always had everything under control. But sitting across from each other at our old coffee shop, I saw an unusual fatigue in Thomas's eyes. After a long silence, he started telling me about his past year. Thomas began slowly. I tried to control everything, work, staff, even my son's schedule. But in the end, our music biggest project failed because of market changes. My wife and I argued over trivial things, my son hitting those awkward teenage years. The more I tried to force him to listen, the more he pushed back. Many nights I lay awake thinking I should have done something different, but now I realize I can't control anything but myself. Thomas isn't the first person I've heard recount failures in trying to hold the reins of life. In fact, we all have tried trying to control what our boss says, a client's decision, our spouse's or children's emotions, or even the course of the future. That feeling of being unable to control everything is like an undertow. It erodes your strength, keeps you perpetually tense, always on the verge of exploding. This is the root of worry, insecurity, even headaches, sleepless nights, and those pointless outbursts of anger. The Stoics never denied that life music is full of things outside our grasp. Philosopher Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us and some are not up to us." Clinging to what isn't yours to control is like trying to hold on to a raging river. The tighter you grip, the more the water slips through your fingers. The only thing that's truly yours is your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in the present. I told Thomas, maybe the only thing we should do is give our all to what truly belongs to us. Do our best at our tasks. Don't skip. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, Marcus Aurelius. The morning is always a new beginning, a fleeting moment of calm before the world sweeps you away in news, work, worries, and all the unpredictable things that lie ahead. Perhaps you too have felt weary, lost among the pile of responsibilities, or wounded by failure and the pain of unmet expectations. Yet, right in those first moments of the day, when light barely slips through the cracks of your window, you have a choice. Will you let old wounds and pressures weigh down your mind, or will you sow seeds of calm and strength within yourself? Stoic philosophy reminds us that the quality of our lives begins with the quality of our thoughts. The 5 simple statements infused with the Stoic spirit below will form a solid foundation, helping you build inner resilience and emotional mastery. No matter how unpredictable the world outside may be, stay with this journey until the end. Because by simply changing the way you talk to yourself each morning, your entire day or even your entire life can transform. You deserve peace, strength, and light from within. One today matters most. Today matters most. Only the present truly belongs to you. The past has closed its door and the future remains a mystery. Everything you can hold on to, everything you can change, everything that allows you to live true to yourself lies entirely music in today. This is the principle that the Stoics always repeat. They do not speak empty words. They do not paint a fanciful picture of inner freedom. They live, practice, and write it down as a legacy passed on to generations. Live each day to the fullest. Maybe you, like me, have often found yourself stuck between 2 worlds. One of regret, remorse, self-blame for what you did or missed, and one of endless anxiety about tomorrow, about uncertainties music cannot control. You may physically be here, but your mind is somewhere else in a lost moment or in a fear yet to materialize. So even when sitting next to your family, chatting with friends, or even treating yourself to a peaceful morning, you are only a shadow of yourself. I lived that way for a long time without realizing it. Each day slipped by in a chain of unconscious reactions. The moment I woke up, I was already thinking about unfinished matters from yesterday, then worrying about the week ahead, what work needs to be done, how to maintain my position, how not to fall behind in society's invisible race. On days like that, I no longer felt the joy of the present moment. A morning with gentle sunlight, the aroma of coffee, or a sincere question from a loved one. Everything just drifted by like thin smoke, vanishing before I could grasp it. There was one Monday morning, after a week filled with worries and fatigue, when I realized I had hit rock bottom with this feeling. I jumped out of bed without even taking a moment to feel the soft light through the curtains. My hands hurriedly reached for the phone, immediately swept up in emails, notifications, and the rush of news reminders of unfinished tasks, lingering appointments. After just an hour, my mind was tense and heavy to the point I couldn't even remember if I'd brushed my teeth or changed clothes. My mind kept running toward things from yesterday or worrying about things yet to happen. I completely forgot I was living here right now. At that moment, I remembered a core Stoic principle I had read but rarely practiced. Confine yourself to the present. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of this daily and reminds us too. Only this moment is where you can truly act, choose, or change anything. It sounds simple, but to truly live in the present requires awareness, courage, and a lot of practice. I began to ask myself, if I keep living like this, will there come a day when I look back and realize I don't even remember when I truly lived? That question woke me up. I realized the solution isn't to banish all worries or deny responsibility for the future. The solution is to learn to bring myself back to the small things of the present. Every time my mind began to drift to a past mistake or an upcoming meeting, I stopped and reminded myself, today matters most. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. I changed even the smallest habits. Before turning on my phone, I gave myself a few quiet minutes, drank a glass of water, listened to my own breathing. I focused on cleaning my desk, wiping away every bit of dust as if cleaning my mind. I wrote down only one task I wanted to accomplish that day. No overreaching, no ambition, no heavy pressure on my shoulders. Sometimes it was as simple as having a genuine conversation with a loved one or sending thanks to someone who'd helped me. Every time I finished a small task, I allowed myself to savor the feeling of truly living in that moment. On days when my mind was troubled, I repeated this mantra. I only need to do well today. I no longer demand it.